Yo, do us a favor and yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to tap that notification bell as well so you can stay updated. Now let's get to the video. You're tuned in to iLLANOiZE Radio, Chicago's most valuable radio show. I'm your host, Biko, alongside my brother, Illinois Jones. And as always, we bring you all the illest guests from around the city and globe. And today, we got some special guests in the building, man. Terry Roseland and Jones is in the building.
What up, y'all?
Welcome.
Appreciate y'all for having us.
No, man, it's a pleasure, man. I've been following T for a minute. I've been giving everybody nicknames when they come up here. I've been doing niggas for years. I've been following T. Right. Jones, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I've been following y'all for a minute, man. I just want to say I love the content, man. For sure. And love what y'all doing, man. Keep on doing it, man. For sure. But it's dope to have y'all up here, though, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be up here.
Got to give my hand claps. So sorry. I'm giving y'all a round of applause if the audience can hear.
Go crazy.
I'm giving y'all a round of applause because I mean those are flowers, you know, and roses are dead is what you all represent. I see a lot of flowers and a lot of the content. Yeah. I want to before I ain't even finna jump into it just yet. Let's actually give everybody a background. Let's start with you, Terry. Like let people know, you know, who you are, where you came from, and you know, just give people a brief background on who you are.
I mean, I grew up in Roseland, all through Roseland, but my parents still over on Wallace over there in Hunnits on 103rd. So I came from that area. I went to Simeon, came out of there in 08, went to SIU, Carbondale. And, you know, I taught for about 7 years in Inglewood, taught a little bit in Roseland, got up out of that. Now I do therapy and mentorship for juvenile probation kids. Now, I actually just became a resident for boys at Simeon, so I'm back.
So you back to your alma mater?
Back to the alma mater. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good. That's like the best thing I got going right now. Like that's something I'm super excited about. Started podcasting in 2019, and you know I started off with Story Time with Terry, which was a crazy time. Then we moved on to Terry Roseland podcast, and now we rebranded about a year ago to Roseland. This the one that's I feel like really defined like my maturity. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna bring that back up a little later. Jones, look, I'm finna say what's your Jones. Let people know, your humble beginnings and just give people a brief background on who you are.
For sure. So I grew up over east. You know what I'm saying? Over east native, and just to clear the record, it's not state to the lake, y'all. It's everything east of Stony. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to him.
That's over east. You know, so that's where I grew up. I went to CVS. Man, I started doing, I wasn't podcasting, but I started like vlogging in 2017. I was just talking about like relationships and shit. And that was off of a heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? Niggas get their feelings hurt and want to talk on camera. I was doing that shit before. I was doing that shit before it was cool. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's how I started. And then I think 2 years later, we met in 2019, right?
2020.
2020. Okay, so in 2020, I came across Terry, and he was having it was called an event called Battle of the Sexes. And mind you, I had been doing that type of content, relationship content, since 2017. So I heard about what he was doing, and I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be on this shit. Like, what's going on?
What's up?
So I reached out to a mutual friend that we both know, and she plugged me with Terry. And same day I hit him up. Nigga sent me, I told him, like, you know what I'm saying, I was interested. He hit me back instantly with a flyer with my picture on it and said, you in it? And
that's
you know
love.
what I'm saying? It was
curtain from now.
It's been history since then. But yeah, so like professionally, I was a trainer, not a personal trainer, like a corporate trainer for some time, and now I'm switching over into to be a solutions engineer. So that's one of the best things that I got going right now.
What the fuck is a solutions engineer?
Hey, bro, hold on. He solidifies some things. He help you with your problems. Am I on board?
Nah, for sure. So it's pretty much solutions engineers usually work for software companies.
Okay.
And we pretty much help clients, obviously, with solutions, but it's something called like CRMs, customer relationship management. And it's just I'll be a product demonstrator, showing people how we can, you know what I'm saying, save their money. I don't know if y'all heard of Salesforce before. It's pretty much what Salesforce do, and I will be demonstrating the product to potential clients and stuff like that.
That's dope as hell.
On the real.
Yeah. So
as y'all hear, we have two incredible black men in the building.
Yes, sir.
Shit. I mean, let's jump into FCN. You Network. That's how I got in tune with you, Terry, through FCN Network. I seen a couple shows on like the 21 questions you would do.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
Nah, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. So we ended it in February, about a year ago. Actually a year just passed. So FC Network was basically just a collective of 9 people who all shared the vision of podcasting and everything like that. We all had a role in the company, and we all had our own podcast for the majority. We had somebody who was a writer. We had somebody who just did behind the scenes stuff. Everybody else had a show, had a podcast, and things like that. We went on tour. We turned Battle with the Sexes, the show, into a tour. We went to we did Atlanta, New York, St. Louis. Am I missing anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit a couple cities.
We've been a few places, you know what I'm saying? So
I can't remember which one, but you missing something.
yeah, we was doing our thing, but the team's still intact as far as like on a friendship level and on a everybody's still doing their thing, but we kind of just doing it a little separately now. That's all.
Is there anything that like you personally miss from the past of branding FCN?
I can't say there's nothing I miss because we still kind of do it all. You know what I'm saying? Like we do it separately, but we still do it all. Like I still make flyers for everybody events. You know what I'm saying? My homie who's recording, he still record all our stuff. So it's just that like the friendship is still there. It's just on paper, business wise, it's separate now. That's all. So everything's still intact.
Well, what led to the transition and the rebrand to Roses Are Dead?
Oh, that one. So man, Roses Are Dead came from a space of. I was talking about relationships with Terry Rose and podcast for a while. When I first started, the content was wild because I was wild. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
he was a wild boy.
I was wilding out. Like that's just the space I was in life, you know. So, and it reflected that I was honestly about where I was, and I just began to mature. I started going to therapy, stuff like that. Or I was in therapy majority of the time anyway. The therapy started working. You know what I'm saying? After a while, and I'm like, all right, this shit kind of wild. Let me chill out, and I just became different. And I'm like, all right. I see a gap in this relationship conversation. When I started my relationship, like he said, wasn't nobody really doing it yet. Like Kevin Samuels, all that came, like we was already doing it. It's just that we wasn't big yet. You know what I'm saying? So when that wave became a thing, it was like, bro, I don't like this shit no more.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody arguing over 50-50, it's like the same conversation over and over. And I felt like it was a bad stigma towards black male podcasters. And I'm like, I don't want to, even though I've been doing this shit, I don't want to do it no more. So, and we also saw a gap in like, it's a bunch of women behind mics telling men what to do. It's a bunch of men behind mics telling women what to do. But it ain't no men behind mics saying what they could do better. So that's where Words I Did came from.
Damn,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
got it. Shit.
Damn.
I fucks with that.
That's dope. What made you want to get into podcasting though, T?
My homie TJ. To be honest, bro, I got to give bro his credit. My homie TJ, bro. I'm talking about super introverted, most quiet person, bro. I didn't talk to niggas, like period, like at all, my whole life. You know what I'm saying? And even through college and all of that, like I got more confidence. I started talking, dating women stuff. But as far as like social spaces and stuff, if you told me I'd be talking in front of a camera in 2018. I'm like, you crazy as hell, bro. I never in my life did no shit like that. Public speaking, any of that, bro. Like none of that. So it's a crazy 180, but my homie TJ, we have our own private conversations or conversations with the guys in college, and he just like, bro, you be having some wild ass opinions on shit. And it'd be kind of hard to debate it because like you were kind of like the way you kind of put stuff, I'm like, okay, cool, but I ain't really think nothing of it. And he was like, bro, we should start a podcast. It's the end of 2018. What the fuck is a podcast? Like, you know what I'm saying? He showed me Joe Budden shit, and I'm like, I used to shoot music videos way back when. It was like Zay and D Games, the only 2 niggas in the city. I was doing it back then, like 2012, 2011.
So you been behind the camera and editing.
So I had the skills I'm like, I know how to put this together. So I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. And it just kind of grew from there. I just took a liking to it. I'm just like, this is what I really want to do, you know?
What about you, Joe?
Reframe, what's the question?
What got you into podcasting?
Him. So it was like I said, I was doing like the vlogs or whatever. It's the only difference between what I was doing and what a podcast is I just wasn't on the podcast like network. I would still record myself doing monologue videos, but it just wasn't going on any podcast platforms. I was just posting my stuff to like YouTube and Instagram. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I was just passionate about that. And like he said, we was talking about relationships for a long time. And when that lane opened up, I got tired of it. I even stopped doing my own episodes
Y'all
because
sound like me and Biko.
That's when he brought it up. I was like, that was Joe's ass about being behind the camera. So being on camera.
I stopped. I had lost my drive to even record for real because it was like what Terry just said. The conversations is the same, no accountability nowhere, and I was like kind of already on. I'm not saying I was just way more mature than Terry, but my wild season wasn't publicized. You know what I'm saying? I was a wild nigga, but I wasn't talking about it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Like bro was talking about it.
He was talking about it in real time. This is what he's going through and this is what's going on. But back when I was telling my stories, whatever the case may be, like I'm a real lover boy. Like everybody know me to be a romantic and stuff like that. So that's just what I was talking about. And you know what I'm saying?
So y'all like the yin and yang.
Nah, we pretty similar.
Yeah.
It's just we just honest. I think that's the difference. Like, so you see like a lot of backlash right now going towards male podcasters that are what people say pandering.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything they say is, positive about women and and then you go into their real life and it's like
Different.
He cheated on some
Complete
chicks coming out the
opposite.
woodwork.
Yeah.
Woo. So it's kind of like we kind of like tell a whole story in real time. Like, no, I was a wild ass nigga. So whatever could come out, it's like I probably talked about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I probably already said that. Like, I could pull up the episode. Like, nah, I be wilding. You know what I'm saying? But it's also recognizing that like, nah, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Regardless of how normalized it is, regardless of how all my homies think it's cool that I fuck 3 chicks in a day, I was wild as hell for doing that. And I wouldn't advise nobody to do that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and talking about what come from with this shit.
He said you can do something better with your time, young fella.
For sure.
Better with your time.
On the real, you ain't got to be out here like I was.
Yeah.
Terry did that, so hopefully you ain't got to
Now
go through that.
On the real. Hey, Terry, Roseland, and Jones is in the building, man. We got some dope conversation coming y'all way. Roses Are Dead is here. We got the mentor program we're going to be talking about, the village as well.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Right, and I need you to do one sminy. Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Riot, and I just need you to do one small favor for me. Head on over to your app store, search iLLANOiZE. Hit the first thing that pops up because we the one and only, and download the iLLANOiZE app.
T, you was talking about it earlier, how you was a teacher. I wanted to know, like, what's some things that you seen that was like, this shit ain't right?
So working in Inglewood, kids was just experiencing a lot of death and a lot of gun violence like super early on in life. So 7 years teaching, 7 kids had died from gun violence while I was teaching. And that was while I was teaching. Like after I stopped teaching, there was kids who I taught at middle school who went on to high school and they also passed away from gun violence, things like that. But the youngest was a 5-year-old. I had a student who lost a sister in a fire. His father got hit in the drive-by and ran inside the house, and while he was playing the game and fell out and died in front of him. And then he also got shot on people shooting in the sky. Bullet came through the window and hit him on New Year's. That happened in a calendar year, less than a calendar year, to one kid. You know what I'm saying? He was in 5th grade, and I could go on and on about it, bro. But they just saw stuff so early, like. It was times where they would have to lock the school down because it was a shooting. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to go out. It's time to, leave school. They got all the kids lined up, their book bags on, their coats on, ready to go. And they like, oh, we can't leave yet. And, the police is outside doing what they got to do to try to clean up everything or whatever they got to do so we can leave. But we trying to keep it quiet so the kids don't know. But you would walk past the kindergarten, they 5 years old, like, oh, hey, somebody, once the guy shot again, woo, woo. They know, like, they was so aware and attuned to the streets. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, it was just tough over there in Inglewood, bro.
How was it? How did that affect you as a teacher?
That's a big reason why I walked away from it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was hard to watch. It wasn't nothing you could really do about it. You can't save everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I worked with some good teachers. Shout out to Kimber Kelly. I worked with some good teachers who really had great intentions for kids. Teachers who would go to a kid crib. He ain't coming to school. We finna go to his house and get him. We finna send food. I had a kid who mom lived out in the hundreds, pops lived right by the school, but his pops went there, so it was an empty crib with no food in it. But he went to school because that was his address. So he'd come to school for a week and be gone for a week, and we could never figure out, like, why is he coming to school for a week straight, then missing a week straight every other week. So I put him to the side and hollered at him. He was one of our best football players. I put him to the side and hollered at him. I'm like, what's going on? He like, bro, I go home so I can eat for a week, then I come back to school, And I like when I'm here, when I'm in school, I can't eat because I go to my pop's crib, ain't nobody there, ain't no food there. So when I go out to my mom's crib, she not gonna bring me to school. So I go out there and eat for a week, then I come back and go to school. He in 7th grade, bro. Like that's real grown man to sit like. So it was teachers who were like sinful. Like we found that out, man, let's get shorty food. Like we boxes of food. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I work with some great people over there, but they was just going through shit that you could make a movie about any one of them kids' life, bro. That shit was crazy over there, bro. And I'm being from Roseland and growing up in the hood and seeing certain shit at a certain age, it was just like, yeah, this a different world than Inglewood, bro. It's not the same. Like every hood ain't the same.
Keep yourself safe too at the end of the day too. I want to ask you though, like as a teacher, how do you even teach through the trauma with these students? Like that's to me seems a challenge within itself.
It is. You gotta love them though, and they gotta feel that. You know what I'm saying? They gotta feel that. You can't teach, and it was teachers that have come from different races and different backgrounds, and they had just kind of try to come be a teacher. And I'm like, bro, they gotta think you care. Well, they gotta know you care before they listen to anything you talking about. Like they don't care what you talking about unless they think you care about them. Like and it's just like think about even ourselves. Like we all got that trust issue coming from the hood. You can't trust nobody. You walking with your shoe. Hey yo, check it out. Who the fuck is that nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing when dude come talking about like, oh, I got a trade school for y'all that y'all come to. Ooh, you sitting there like, who the fuck is dude? Like, we don't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I always advocate for people to be in the hood. Or, you know, I be saying people need to live in the hood. Yeah. But I ain't judging nobody from leaving the hood. But at the same time, like, if I live on your block and you see me every day while you playing, and I broke up your first fight or whatever, and then you graduate in high school and you don't know what to do, and I say, hey, go to this trade school, you gonna trust me? Like, oh, he said, you know, go to the trade school. Ooh. But dude who could come to your school, who work at the trade school, it's like, who the fuck is he? I ain't listening to what he's talking about. So it's just a lot of that.
Yeah. And man, shit, I want to ask you as well, like, because you teaching through the trauma, you see what these students going through, you going through it as well.
Yeah.
What did you even teach?
So I started off teaching gym. And it was funny because it's a long story how I even picked that major, but I started off teaching gym. And it was the easiest thing. I'm like, damn, gym teachers get paid the same as everybody else. Why the fuck would I teach math? Like, let's go run these laps. Like, yeah. So I started off teaching gym, and then and with that was dope because you teach the whole school, like K through 8. I'm the only person in the school who know every kid in the school. So that was dope. Just it wasn't no kid I couldn't holler in the hallway like, hey man, put your pants up, stop running through this hallway. Like everybody know me. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope. But then I went on to teach 7th grade math. I did primary reading for a while. Then I ended up teaching high school math towards the end of my teaching career. I ended up doing high school math.
Man,
what's some support you think the teachers are not getting? Like, what's something that teachers need? Like
more teachers. Classroom sizes get ridiculous. I had a gym class with 54 kindergartners before. And I'm like
54.
Yeah, I'm like, imagine the homeroom teacher.
Yeah, imagine the homeroom teacher.
I got space for 54 kids. And I had 40, I think like 44 7th graders before, and that's worse than 54 kids because the bodies are bigger. So 44 kids,
they all funky.
44. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man.
But imagine like, so if I'm struggling in gym with 44 kids, imagine in math class, they sharing books and shit. Like, so we need more teachers. The pay, shit. Where you go to like. Man, it's a lot. They struggling with everything, man.
But the biggest thing is more teachers.
More teachers. We need nurses at every school. We need just more resources all together, bro. More resources, computers, STEM, everything. Like it's you could go to any aspect of the school, bro. It's a shortage in everything. You know what I'm saying?
Dog, man.
Yo, one thing I remember about school when I was coming up was it was no male teachers.
Facts.
And it's to this day, it's still limited male teachers.
It was no male teachers, and I'm real active at my son's school. Like everybody know me up there and everything. And most of his teachers, they're not all his teachers, are women. And my son, he can definitely be manipulative or whatever the case may be. Try to get his way or whatever, sweet talk and all that type of stuff. So I mean, one time I had to go up to the school because of some behavior things, and I had to tell him. Like, it was a coach, I forgot what sport it was, but the coach could get my son in line because it was a man. And so I brought the coach into the meeting, and I brought all his female teachers into the meeting. I'm like, y'all can't, like, I know y'all nurturing and you soft, but you can't be like that with him. Like, you got to be direct. And I feel like if it was a lot of male teachers, a lot more male teachers in the schools, that masculine energy, that alphaness, you can get some kids in line versus because like you would naturally feel like it don't matter if it's a man or a woman. Anybody that's soft, you feel like you can get over on them.
That's right. I feel that. You hit it on the head with that. There's not a lot of male teachers within our school system.
It's not.
Even, I mean, from every grade level, you literally hit it on the head. There's not a lot at all. And I always say it too. I felt like if there was more male teachers, the students would probably be a little different. You know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way, not in a good way, just different in general way. Because it's all women, from principals to the teachers.
Yeah.
So
it's some men in school getting ran over too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. It's some because they be trying to be too cool, and kids and I come from our neighborhoods.
They finesse.
They smart. I ain't want to say kids from the hood manipulative. It's like I don't want to put a bad stigma on black kids, but like they been around the block. They mature. Like they not the average.
They know when you a goofy.
Average 10-year-old.
They know when you a goofy.
Exactly what's going
they know
on,
when
bro.
they can get over.
Yeah, so it be some of them coming in trying to be too cool and get finessed and get ran over and all that. So, but we definitely need more black men in schools for sure. That's why they need to up the pay because that's what's gonna make a nigga want to be a teacher. Like, the pay what they paying ain't gonna make no nigga want to do that.
Before we get into this break, do you know if there's still contractual talks with the schools and the mayor?
I don't know no more. I ain't even in that world, bro. I'm so glad I'm out of that shit. And strikes and shit, man.
That shit's brutal.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we're going to get into a quick music break, and then we're going to jump back into our conversation. Roses Are Dead is in the building. Roses Are Dead is still in the building. Previous to the break, we talked with Terry about the school system and teaching in Inglewood and just how a lot of kids are dealing with trauma and just the circumstances that happens that we as parents and just people that may not know about. Now I want to tap in with Jones. You know, you said you went to CVS, the big ass school.
The V. 09.
So before we get into Roses Are Dead, when you went to CVS, because I never been, but I know that's one of the biggest schools I've ever seen.
You ride past that motherfucker.
Huge.
It takes you a minute to ride past.
And it's a vocational school as well.
For sure.
So what was your experience like going to that high school?
It was great. And it was great. My freshman class, speaking of like how large it was, my freshman class had, I remember the number to the T, it was 556 freshmen.
That was it?
Yeah, 556 freshmen. I was number 5, by the way. I remember academically.
Okay.
But, that's how I remember that. That's how I remember
Give some horns. Give some horns. Out of 556.
On the real.
556. I was number 5. But no, it was dope. And the vocational part was really what really made CVS special. You had kids that went there that they probably didn't take their major seriously, but if you took your major seriously and you picked the right one and right as subjective, some doors could have opened for you. You know what I'm saying? I was in diesel, Navistar diesel, and we would build diesel engines. You know what I'm saying, in the classroom.
Oh damn.
Yeah, they had like diesel engines. Like the school was so big, the classrooms was like mini warehouses, like on the diesel side. You know what I'm saying? Like the average classroom was just big, but where the majors was, it was so much like equipment and stuff like that. We got engines everywhere. We got sections where we put the parts and all that type of stuff. So you choose your major your sophomore year. Your freshman year, you just like have like regular classes, and then sophomore year to senior year, you got you in your major or whatever. So that opened up a lot of doors for me, man. My junior year, I was able to, that summer, me and my 2 of my homies, we worked they got us internships at the company Navistar in Melrose Park. Yeah. And back then, like I think this back in 2008, 2009, like them factory jobs was it. Like you wanted a good factory job, you know what I'm saying? And there was previous graduates who was in our major that was working there full time now. And it was such a good thing because I didn't go away to school. I didn't go to college. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good lane for a lot of kids because it was exposure. and I can see people who was in my school. Now you working there, bro got a nice car. He making, $20 an hour. $20 an hour in 2008, nigga. You're up.
Money. Yeah, you balling. You balling.
Minimum wage
buddy.
was $6.75.
You feel me?
You're balling. You're balling.
Interest rates was decent. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those guys who, they was kind of like leading the way. They lifestyles was admirable. You know what I'm saying? To some young niggas. So, like, CBS opened that door for me, and when I graduated, I was able to work there, and you know what I'm saying. So, like, education wise, if you took it seriously, it could have opened some doors to you. And all the nurses too. They had a nursing major. Like, the nursing program at CBS, them girls was working hard. Like, you always seen all the nursing girls who walking around in their scrubs or whatever. Like, I just think about how mature they was back then. Like, they was in it. You know what I'm saying? And there was some good opportunities for them too. So, like, education wise, it was dope. You know what I'm saying? Now, outside of education, it was also dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to glorify that shit, but my freshman year, it was the CVS riot. You know what I'm saying? All the classes was in front of the school fighting. Like, it was big as hell. It was in the newspaper, all type of shit, whatever. And, you know what I'm saying? Niggas shooting dice in the bathroom. I won some racks, lost some racks over my years.
I was
you know what I'm saying?
Partook into some
and partaking in all that stuff over the years. Freshman year I was number 5. You know what I'm saying? Sophomore year I was 11. You know what I'm saying? Junior year I was 27.
Oh damn!
I'm feeling myself. I'm smelling myself. You know what I'm saying? Getting the girls now and all that type of stuff. But all in all, you know what I'm saying? That GPA was still up there. But it was a good experience at CVS, man. It was a lot of good memories, and yeah, I wouldn't trade that. It was dope.
I always wanted to hear about, like, CVS, because I've never in my life, I always hear good things. I've always heard this, that, and the third. And then with me knowing that it's a vocational school, and I've been in the aviation part before, because they also had aviation. I'm like, yo, this school is a lot of CPS. I don't even think it was CPS. I think that is. I think CPS is CPS. They don't have programs like that, so it was always special to me meeting somebody that came. Especially we graduated the same year. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty dope to hear.
What's messed up? They don't. I think, and I'm not being biased. 2009. After 2009, like that school changed, for the worse. You know what I'm saying? They eventually stopped offering majors. I don't even know if it's a vocational school anymore. Like, a lot of things just changed, and I think we was at that school at a prime time. You know what I'm saying? So it was fire. Shout out to the V.
Shout out to the V, man. Let's tap into Roses Are Dead. The significance behind the title.
Yeah.
Any one of you could break it down, because I like that title itself stands out. You have the shirt on, and everything you all do when it comes to branding and marketing, you're gonna see some roses, and you all suited and booted and ready to go. So can you break down the significance of things?
Roses are dead. Roses symbolize romance, right? So roses are dead is basically saying romance is dead, and it's not a declaration. It's more of an observation. So online, all you see is men and women at war going at it. Like, you could. I see posts about anything. It could be 2 girls fighting, and it'll be a dude in the comments like, "Yeah, these the same women that get on there." Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got nothing to do with nothing. So this is just a time where, like, men and women are just the most divided I've ever seen. And it seems like, where's the romance? Like, why is it not cool for men to love women no more? Why is, like, even in R&B and the music, like, so it's like romance is there right now. So, and it's for us, it means that, look, we need to take a step back and stop pointing the finger at women and saying, like, oh, y'all need to do this, y'all need to do that. I could go down the list. We could do 3 shows about what I don't like about what women got going on right now, right? We could talk about it all day. I'm not saying they perfect. I'm not saying that by a long shot. But what I am saying is that before I go protest on their front yard about what they need to do better, I'm gonna make sure our yard cleaned up. I'm gonna make sure we doing what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Roses I Did is all about.
Was it for you, Jones, when you learned about the transition? How was that for you, learning about the transition, and what was your thought process towards things?
No, I ain't learned about it. We talked about it. You know what I'm saying? We collaborated on it. This shit was very well planned. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, and I'm definitely credit bro. I'm talking about down to the color of branding. Like, everything was, because obviously we've been down this road before. We both had individual podcasts before, so you learn a lot when you do it once. So that second run, why we so, successful, and we have a lot of growth within a year, is because before we shot that first episode, it was real strategic. What is our brand gonna be about? What's the lane? What lane are we going after? What are we not gonna be talking about? Like we want to really narrow in on, you know what I'm saying, our niche and stay true to that. We want to be a podcast. We can talk about this, we talk about that. Like, let's solve a problem. What's the problem? All right, we're gonna be talking about the solution.
His solutions.
Kicked in. Yeah, it's right there. I know in the episode, I was watching the episode earlier when y'all walked in, and I knew I saw you, Terry, was talking about how important it was for you to get the business side on point, because you was like, we never did advertising dollars, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's the business side we want to get down. Like, how important is that?
If you want to make some money, it's very important. You know, nobody's just gonna come and just give you some bread for your podcast unless it's huge. And even if it's big, ain't nobody just gonna come give you no money. You got to be huge for somebody to just come offer you some bread. So you got to get out here. You got to network, or you got to just set up your own economy. You could build your own economy around your podcast. You know what I'm saying? You can have Patreons. You can have merch. Like, once you get their ear, but it's like, how do you get their ear though? Like, how do you? I always say it's like, you could build a hotel, or you could build a house, right? You get a podcast and we talk about everything. You can have a podcast, you talk about everything. We're gonna talk about Super Bowl this week. Next week we talk about 50, and next week we talk about this. And it's not about you. So your competition is, you just entertaining people at that point. Your competition is everything. It's YouTube, Hulu, Instagram, scrolling on my phone, the radio. You know what I'm saying? Versus if I'm solving a problem, like he just said, and how am I positioning myself around that problem? Am I saying I solved the problem, I'm gonna tell y'all how I solved it? Or I'm saying like, hey, let's build a community of people who all had the same problem. We're gonna walk this path together. That's what Rose's idea is, right? So now once you build that community, it's like when we're going back to a house or a hotel, if I put out an episode about like loyalty, and it's about 50 and Big Meech, and somebody really resonate with that shit, they like, man, I'm gonna come listen next week. But the next week I'm talking about the Super Bowl. They're like, I ain't really. So when you build a hotel, a lot of people gonna come, but ain't nobody gonna stay. You know what I'm saying? You build a house, you ain't gonna have as many people, but they not going nowhere. And that's what Rose I did. Is like, we don't need everybody to listen to this shit. We need people who connect with it to come and stay, and you could build an economy around that, providing them with things they need. Ebooks, not even just bullshit saying like, I just want to sell y'all some shit to make some money. Yeah, we're gonna sell some hoodies and t-shirts, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna sell y'all some ebooks. We got a Boys Mom ebook coming out, all type of shit, you know.
Was it difficult for you all at all transitioning your past audience to, you know, the new brand? Well, what's some challenges you all faced, you know, I would say, through the transition?
I ain't care. I just knew this is what we wanted to do. So like, I ain't even really care who wasn't gonna come along for the ride. Cause it's just like, this the way our real life headed.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't finna just keep making the shit y'all want to hear, and that's not even me. I'm not even living that space no more. Like, I talk about how Future don't even use the drugs he rap about. It's like, that shit crazy to me, you know?
Man,
so when we transitioned, it was just like, shit, it is what it is. But one thing that was crazy was that the podcast for men, the audience, like 70% women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's always opposite.
it's crazy. So
But the dope part about that is, even though it's the 70% of women that listen, they share it with the men that they know and love. You know what I'm saying? So the message is, even though the majority of women is listening, we still reaching men in some capacity, indirectly.
Damn, man. That's
This man be solving problems for real.
hey, yeah.
He solving problems for real. He broke it down. Yeah, it's a bad thing. But listen, 75% of women is a good thing, because they gonna share it with the men.
Yeah, that's absolute facts too.
No, for sure.
'Cause, you
for
know,
sure.
women want to understand how us men think and operate. So that it makes sense that opposite would be more of a fan base. But it's great, like you said, that they're sharing it with men. Hey, check this shit out. You need to understand, learn more. Has anyone approached you all on like how the podcast has changed them in any sort of way that, you know, you recollect with?
That's what keep us going. That's the fulfilling part on it. You know what I'm saying? And first, like, our community is tight. Like, it ain't millions of people, but the people who we are reaching, we building community, we building bonding, we building relationships with them. Like, our listeners hit us up. Like, I got listeners that hit me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm real heavy in my faith. They ask me to pray for them. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about, oh, this nigga did this week. What you think about this? You think he playing? Or like, hey, how your son? Like, our listeners, like, know us. Like, we go live on TikTok every week. And people, you gotta think about this. Our TikTok live is Wednesdays at 8 p.m. you got people, the same people who show up every week. It's prioritized in their week. On Wednesdays, I'm sitting down and I'm gonna have my phone in my hand, and we'll be on that motherfucker for 2 hours, and they on the live the whole time, 2 hours, because it's a community. We relatable. You know what I'm saying? We know our people, so that's everything.
I know y'all speak on community a lot. I know that y'all have a mentor program giving back to the community a lot. Like, can y'all talk about that?
The village.
The village.
The village, yeah, man. So, you know, with Roseland did, it's all about male personal development, and it was like, you know, we got to live it too. We can't just sit and talk about it and talk about how our life is better from the things that we've learned, the books that we've read. So we like, you know, we're going to go out and we're going to mentor some young guys. And it was just kind of like a left field idea. Like, let's have a real estate seminar for some young people. And we did it, and it was successful. It was like, let's just keep doing it every month. And the village, it just came from that. It just came from us constantly having these meetings with the young guys. And what ended up happening was we picked 6 young guys that came consistently. And we kind of learned from me teaching, from bro working in the community and stuff like that. You kind of realize, like, okay, when you talking to a lot of boys at once, they not really listening. When it's 20 of them, some people in their phone, you got to personalize this shit. It got to be real personal. So it's like, you know what? We got people showing up in August. We don't see them again till November. We just going to pick the 6 guys that's the most consistent. We're going to work with them. They tell us what they want to do with their life. You want to be a personal stylist, we're going to take you to see Corey DeMond. You want to be a poet, we're going to take you to see 7 a.m. The Poet. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a barber, we take you to Sweeney Todd and see this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and all of those, and the village was the perfect name because it's funded by the people who listen to our podcast. They paying for Patreon, they paying for this, they paying for that. They really paying for these kids to be in the right situations. You know what I'm saying? It's funded by people sending donations who just see us. It's powered by the people like Corey. Doing this podcast shit, we meet so many people, and it might not make sense to work with them because, like, I'm a podcaster, you a stylist, like, but it's good to know you, but what can we do?
Exactly.
With the village, it all made sense. It's like, damn, all these people we done met, we can leverage all these relationships to help these kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it really is. The village is dope.
Let me ask you all, why specifically the age range of 12 to 19?
That's the most, I feel like 12 to 19, it's a good time to mold a kid or a young man, because he's stepping into, when you 12, I can remember my pops even starting the conversations got more serious around 12, 13. You stepping into manhood, you're on your way in it. So 12 to 19, either you stepping in it, you need some guidance, you in it, you need guidance on the way in it, or you need guidance not necessarily on the way out of it, but on the way out into the real world. Whereas, you know what I'm saying, now a lot of your decisions is gonna stick. A lot of your consequences is gonna be a little bit more permanent or whatever. So 12 to 19, it's just that makes sense. That's prime.
Yeah.
Analytically, you know, it makes sense.
I'm gonna add this too. Like, that's a time where a lot of single moms gotta have conversations that they not comfortable having with their sons.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? That's a lot. And really before that, but at that age, for real, there'd be a lot of moms like, I don't even know how to have this conversation when he ain't trying to hit that from me. So that was another big reason.
And that's that age where young boys start to smell themselves. And, you know, they testing their moms now.
Yeah, they can puff up a little bit. Yeah. In the chest. I ain't doing that.
You know?
Grabbing the belt back. Like, nah, you ain't no more whooping. Ain't no whoopings today. Ain't no whoopings today.
That's some new generation shit.
Yeah.
I ain't never did no shit like that.
I let my mama whoop my ass. I just act like it hurt.
If my mama whoop my ass right now, I ain't reaching for that belt, man. I walk away before I reach.
Shit don't hurt no more.
You ever took it and looked at it and was like, no, let me just fake like
this. Hell yeah.
I never even thought still act like that shit hurt.
Hell yeah, I'm finna put my actors all the way on.
With the show, I wanted to ask you, T, because I know you said you go to therapy. You in therapy too as well?
He the reason I'm in therapy.
Oh, word.
Shit, hold up.
So I wanted to ask, being that y'all in therapy and y'all talk about a lot of stuff, but then y'all also go on to the podcast and share the same things. I wanted, was that beneficial to the therapy, or was it like, is the therapy working because of this, or is the podcast really my outlet to where it's like, damn, I'm thinking about it a little more. I can go about it a little better.
I say that the podcast working because of the therapy.
Okay. So that's what I was thinking.
The podcast working because of the therapy, because when you get that real raw insight and you studying yourself. That's all therapy is. It's like you studying yourself and your own actions. And when you could to come on a podcast and be authentic about what you learned about yourself, and you have people like, damn, I'm going through the same shit, and I didn't even look at it like that. That's what's making it work. That authenticity is what's making it work. I say talking about everything publicly, the big benefit of that is more so owning your own narrative. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like 8 Mile. Like Eminem said everything bad about himself, so now dude ain't got nothing to say about him. So I feel like when I'm putting out the things that I struggle with, it ain't just to tell my business, it's to help somebody. But at the end of the day, I own my story now. Can't nobody use this shit to hurt me because I'm wearing it on my sleeve anyway.
Yeah, you can't come out and be like, oh no, that nigga was in his feelings. Woo. Yeah, I was. That's on episode 203.
Yeah.
I talked about that. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of guys, we think we going through shit by ourselves. Especially when we dealing with our emotions and when we get vulnerable, when we feel quote unquote soft, we usually deal with that by ourselves. But when you hear, you know what I'm saying, 2 guys talking about like, yeah, man, I was crying. Like, yeah, I was messed up. Woo, woo. Nigga, you gonna relate to it, but you just didn't know nobody else was going through it. You felt soft and secluded. Like, oh no, other men who I even look up to is dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? So now I really got your ear. Now the
nigga you sitting next to dealing with it and y'all ain't even talking about it.
Yeah.
Do you all have for your therapist, is it a woman or is it a man?
Woman. Yeah.
Yeah, woman for sure.
Thank God. I just
black
wanted to know
woman.
because
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm like, do I look into having a black male figure as my therapist or a black woman?
I think it's what you're going for.
For sure. And I chose a black woman because people have asked me why you didn't choose like a black man. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all can relate and everything in that nature. So 9 times out of 10, like we're masculine men. You know what I'm saying? I got to be hard a lot of the time. I want a space outside of my personal village where I don't have to be that. I know it's therapy, but we still human beings. If I'm sitting across from a man, I'm probably gonna try to keep frame. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna probably act like some shit ain't really bother me like that. But once you build your relationship with your therapist, I remember the first time I cried in my therapy session. After that, it was game over. It was like I'm high bet, cool. I'm open.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't think I just like the way black women can nurture you. You know what I'm saying? So
I say like for a woman, she gonna up your level of understanding. And a lot of times as men, we don't got time for that. Like we don't got time to understand why she cheated. I'm trying to get over this shit. I'm not trying to understand why she cheated on me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But a woman really gonna like, okay, if you don't understand this, you're gonna go out into the world and project these feelings on other people because you don't really get it. So a male therapist, a lot of like even because I deal with all type of therapists. A male therapist is more so okay, man, this is what you need to do to get past this. You need to focus on this. You need to da da da. But I think if you're going for relationships, a woman therapist is the way to go. I think if you're going for like, just trying to find your voice as a man, your confidence, things like that, I think it's better to go to a male therapist. So I think it's all about what you're going to therapy for.
I appreciate y'all breaking that down, man. Before we outro things, Rose Gold Charity Gala takes place March 30th. Mm-hmm. Tell everybody about what they can expect, and most importantly, let people know how they can donate to the cause.
Okay. So Rose Gold is basically a charitable R&B gala. So it's all R&B. We got DJ Just One. He a monster on the R&B DJing side. So that joint gonna be lit. Cocktail party. We dressing up. Every ticket, whatever you spend in that is all going towards our 6 mentees. You know what I'm saying? It's a pay what you want event. So you can pay $1 to get in, up to $1,000 to get in. It's all about what you want to pay. If you pay $1, your dollar is going towards a kid future. If you pay $1,000, it's going towards a kid. You're not gonna get no bottle or no table. We're gonna spend all that. We giving all that shit to the kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what Rose Gold is. The kids gonna come in for about an hour, and they gonna kind of see everything that was made for them. They gonna speak a little bit, and then they gonna go home, and then we gonna party for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's all Rose Gold really is, man. And if anybody want to check it out, you can go to rosesaredead.org/rosegold.
Say that again.
rosesaredead.org/rosegold.
And the event takes place March 30th.
March 30th, 6 o'clock. We there, Chicago Theater Works.
And you can donate whatever the hell you want, from $1 to goddamn it $1 million. Okay,
we'll
or
take
more,
that too.
or $1 billion. Hell, help these kids out, man. Again, Rose Gold Charity Gala goes down March 30th. Man, it was a pleasure having you brothers here.
Pleasure being here.
Congrats on the rebrand.
Yeah.
I wish you brothers much more success and continue doing what you do with the kids. I want to ask you this too. This is for both of you all. Do you feel a deeper connection like with yourself working with the youth? Or what type of connection do you feel working with the youth?
Like with them?
Yeah, like with your youth in general. I'm gonna say the mentees. Yeah, with the mentees, because I feel like that's pretty powerful.
It keeps me connected to like what's going on, because everybody live different lives. I grew up over East for sure, but I grew up in a 2-parent household. You know what I'm saying? Like my upbringing is very unique, and I didn't even realize it was unique until about like 7th grade. I don't know. Me and my friends was talking, and I don't know how it came up, but they was asking like, "Who you live with?" I live with my mama. Like, who you live with? I live with my daddy. I read you. Who you live with? I think my parents. They're like your mama and your daddy. I'm like, yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm thinking that's normal, but that wasn't the normal thing. That's not the normal thing for a lot of kids. So, and I didn't quote unquote start coming outside for real because my mama would let me come outside. Like, I had to go to my cousin's house to go outside. You know what I'm saying? So you got somebody who grew up like me, who was from the hood, and then you got kids who in the streets. And I feel like working with the mentees, you know what I'm saying, you meet both kind of kids, and it kind of keep your ear to the ground on what these kids are going through. Like I couldn't relate to how the shorties growing up in Inglewood. Like you'll hear about that stuff, but not for real. But when you meet these kids and like, damn, like y'all really going through this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all okay. It just keep it I don't know, it just make the connection stronger.
I'm happy you brought your upbringing up too. That's what I was trying to get out.
For sure.
What about you, T?
It's the most gratifying experience, bro. Because we meet them in all different types of scenarios. Some of them just came to, their mom can't pull it up. I saw this on Instagram. I want my son to be a part of this. Some of them I met while they was locked up. You know what I'm saying? And we really helping them. Like, we personalizing everything to exactly what they want. And to see their growth over time is just an amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling up at some of their schools. You know what I'm saying? We put our oldest, we put him in trade school. He didn't call me like, I'm finna put he was in trade school for 2 hours, so I'm finna put my 2 weeks in, bro. I ain't working there no more, you know what I'm saying? So, and just seeing them when they get around, some of the guys that we bring them around are rich. Some of these guys are super successful, and they just like having that access. We brought them to, shout out to Hector.
Shout out to Hector.
We took him to celebrity trainer Hector, right? Bro, talk to him. He like, hey, I appreciate y'all talking to. We finna take y'all to the Nike store. Y'all get what y'all want. He like, you know what? Ain't no parking over there. I'm gonna order some black trucks. Get us over there. They looking like this nigga serious.
Like, he's a real
But not only is it just saying that you now have access and you've seen somebody be super successful, but you've seen real generosity. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you don't see a lot in the hood. Right. You don't see generosity like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially, ain't no drug dealers on the block buying everybody ice cream no more.
Or well, they still do the turkeys.
They still do the turkeys. You know what I'm saying? So it's an amazing experience, and just seeing how they react to it in real time is just like, bro, you can see in their eyes like they just feel inspired and they just feel like, okay, I could do this.
One of the dopest things that I witnessed in the village was we had I forgot where we were going, but we brought some shorties together, and it was 2 kids in particular. They was just like talking a lot. I thought they was like homies or whatever. They chemistry was dope. They laughing, chopping it up or whatever. And I thought they was damn near related.
Yeah.
Them niggas had just met that day.
Like 2 hours before.
2 hours before. But I'm like, wait, y'all don't know each other? They're like, nah, I just met bro here. So it's creating friendships. They gonna be cool forever.
Damn.
They look like how me and him interact. And we've been on each other for almost 5 years. Yeah. And they had just met 2 hours before. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that was like one of the dopest things that, like, man, we creating a space where we expose them to things, they building relationships with their peers, and who knows what that relationship gonna turn into. They might do business together one day. They might start a podcast together. They might do a real estate venture together. You just never know. It's a seed planted.
Man, look, Roses. What's the site again?
Rosesidea.org.
That's where you can learn more about the Rose Gold Charity Gala. You can also learn more about the village. Hit that link right now. Visit that link. And most importantly, give out y'all social so people can follow and stay in tune.
I'm at Terry Roseland. That's TerryRoseland.
I'm at A Man's Perspective, all one word, A Man's Perspective _
And Rose is at R. OSE. A lot of people
sure.
are dead.
Yeah.
I love how y'all broke it down on the IG, like the R.OSE. I love how that looks,
sure.
man.
Love.
Appreciate you brothers coming through.